just to get started here, Masai, prior to your NIL offer from the WWE, I assume that you've heard of the company at least. And just have you ever been a fan of it or watched the sport, or was this kind of like trial by fire for you?
Yes, when I was little, my brothers and we used to like literally reenact the WWE moves. So when they actually contacted me, I was like very surprised because I didn't know what exactly they wanted from me. And then I was just super excited once I joined the team because it's a global brand. Like, who doesn't know WWE? I was super excited about that.
Yeah, and you kind of were surprised, like you said, your initial reaction was definitely kind of out of shock. Just how did that change once they sort of explained the deal to you a little bit and what it actually entailed?
It was great to understand exactly what they wanted from me because I was a little nervous. I didn't know exactly what they wanted. I was like, I hope that they don't expect me to be wrestling and things like that. But once they told me what the deliverables was and everything about that, I was excited to know that I was one of the first group of athletes that they chose to be a part of this WWE NIL program. And then just to know that I'm going to be like a foot in the door, kind of a head start in front of anybody else who kind of wants to join WWE just as a regular person. Like I'm already kind of a foot in the door. They know who I am. I was a WWE athlete, so I would just be in the system and then just also getting the experience of being behind the scenes and getting invited to the WWE SmackDown and the Raws. Just a great experience, like 100%. Like I said, I was a little nervous at first, but once I joined the team and just met them and they talked me through everything, super comfortable, great, like just like super excited, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. And just what kind of works in this deal? I know you might not be able to say everything, probably non-disclosures, things like that, but what do you have to kind of provide them and what do they provide you with this NIL deal?
I think that for the most part, I'm just kind of sitting on their roster to say that I am a WWE athlete. I feel like that just speaks for itself. Like, I feel like it's a two-way kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'm with WWE and WWE is with me. Like, I feel like it looks good both ways. And like I said before, they are just, they're really just paying me for them to promote me and I promote them. And then, like I said, they're gonna fly me out to do certain things, like invite me to the WWE Raw, SmackDown, things like that. Go behind the scenes just to see like what the production is like because that might be an avenue I want to pursue in my later years. Like I don't know if I want to be a WWE athlete or someone that's a spokesperson for the WWE. So it's kind of just like a great opportunity on both ends to kind of get like a feel for the athlete side and the production side.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. And what would your expectations, you think, be when you first show up to either, a SmackDown taping or Raw taping? Just what are you kind of expecting when you get there?
I don't really know. I just talked to them on Monday or Tuesday, and we're trying to set up a day where they're gonna fly me out to Texas at the Cowboys Stadium. So my expectations in my head right now is like I don't even really know. Like I really do not know what to expect. It's gonna be all brand new because I've never been like flown out somewhere just to like see whatever someone's offering me. So I mean, I don't even really know what to expect if I'm being honest. Like I can't even tell you. I'm just excited and just taking it all in as it comes.
Yeah, definitely understand that. And obviously, your athletics career doesn't necessarily align with WWE in terms of wrestling. You're a track star. Just what was the reaction when you announced that, hey, I'm going to the WWE? What were people kind of telling you?
So many people were like they just had so many questions, which I would have as well because I'm like, okay, I'm a track star, but a lot of people on the list that they came out with were track athletes. So I'm like, okay, at least I'm not the only just track athlete who's on this list. But so it was so many questions, so much explaining of what it is. Like I was just telling you about how I'm going behind the scenes and seeing the production, how they're flying me out and inviting me to be a part of the SmackDown. They also said that it's going to be kind of like a red carpet for us NIL athletes. So I think that's why they're trying to figure out my schedule so early in advance because I guess it's a lot of setting up to do and to make sure that I'm there. Certain things have to be in place. So that like just so many questions. That's why I said I'm gonna just make a YouTube video on it just so I can kind of clear up what anybody has in there, like any misconceptions. Like everyone's like, oh my gosh, like I'm about to give you a WWE name, things like that. I'm like, y'all, calm down, because I'm not wrestling nobody. Like, at least not right now. Like, not right now.
Understand that. And you had mentioned that there are a couple of other track athletes. I know that one is from Alabama. I think Alabama has 2 total signees. Have you been able to talk to some of the other class members like, hey, we're a part of this. What are your reactions to this? Or is it kind of you guys are just flying off the seat of your pants by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of just like we're all gonna fly out and just kind of meet each other there. I followed a couple of the athletes that are a part of it, but it seems like WWE is starting their second wave of of NIL athletes that they have, because a lot of people who I actually know, I just got hit up by a second person today that said that WWE reached out to them, like, and they're asking me, what do I do? What do I say? Things like that. So they did notify me that I was like the first go round of the WWE NIL athletes. So even to just inform other people that's the next up, it's very I mean, I'm just glad that I can be a part to, inform them the right things, what to say, what not to say, and just so they could be a part of something that's just as big as me.
Yeah, definitely. And now, kind of getting more to your track career, just tell me about your track career so far, and specifically looking at last season. Just what was your reaction to having multiple first place All American honors there?
Super blessed, it's just great to really see all the hard work that you put into something just to pay off. I'm looking to do bigger and better things this season. I actually have a meet tomorrow and Saturday. So looking to do really big things in there. But I was just super proud of myself just because of how my season started off. It didn't start off the way that I wanted to, but it definitely finished the way that I was proud of. And going into the Olympic trials, just getting that experience. So when I go back, it's going to be, of course, different. I'm just super happy. Like I said, it's just great to really see all the hard work that you put into something just to finally play out, to be an All-American, especially with like some good teammates. It makes it even better. So I'm always super happy to have my teammates working with me and then being rewarded at the same time. It's just all a great feeling.
Definitely. And how is this season preparing for this one compared to the last season? Because obviously you're coming off of a COVID-19 year where everything was in flux. There's not even sure what's going to happen. Just how are you feeling mentally, physically going this year compared to the last year where you had such success?
Yeah, compared to last year, this season is very different mentally and physically. COVID is a major factor, but it doesn't seem like it's as major as it was last year. Like, we know we're running. We know that our season isn't gonna get canceled. I would say they just have the right protocols in place to make sure that everything is running fine. I think that we've done a really good job throughout this whole fall training, just keeping everybody safe and testing, and everyone's vaccinated. So it just makes it a little easier to know that you're competing. Last year was like, all right, we're just training. We don't really know, we didn't know if we were having a season in the beginning. It was just kind of up in the air. The meets were getting canceled. Some people were sitting out, things like that. It was just a lot of up and down, but mentally I'm just in a way better place so that we know we're competing. We know that there's not going to be any pauses or any issues, of course, unless someone gets COVID. But I mean, I think I've already had it, so I should be good. So, and physically, I feel great. I feel better than I ever have before in my life. I think that this is going to be the season for me, the season that's just going to elevate me up another level. From last year, I'm just so much stronger, faster, fitter, everything that you could compare to last year. Just know I'm times 10 or maybe 20 above that, I would say.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome to hear. And you're one of these special athletes, especially in the NIL era, where you're able to not only be strong student athlete in your respective field, but you've also had this national following. You've created a social media presence that gets a lot of attention. Just what is it like to be considered one of these student athlete influencers that we've heard so much about?
It's just a blessing to know that I have this platform that I can influence, encourage, inspire just thousands and millions of individuals on a day-to-day basis, and being able to use my platform through Kentucky to just showcase that to the world. I mean, I don't even really know what to say. It's just like, it's a blessing. I never really asked for this, but it's definitely meant for me because I've always been a social media person. I record everything. I have a YouTube, I have a blog before I was able to get paid from it. And I just really think that it's my calling outside of track. And that's like I've told so many people that I've talked to this week. I'm like, this is really for me because I literally just got in the house like maybe 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. And like, I like jumped on another interview. Like, this is my second interview of the day throughout my busy day, practice, class, things like that. But it's nothing to the point where I can't handle So I'm just blessed and thankful that I do have the support, the followers, the everything that it looks like. I'm just blessed and thankful and super humbled by everything that I've been receiving up until this point.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously the NIL era, the biggest thing is that it helps student athletes finally earn money where they usually couldn't before using their name, image, and likeness. Just what has it done for you specifically? And how do you think it impacts student athletes differently than just, financially compensated? Just how do you think it impacts you guys?
I think that it impacts us in a great way because it gives the brand and the student like a first-hand based like experience with the company that they're using. I feel like I promoted a lot of brands and companies that I organically used prior to doing a partnership with them. So I just think that it's very cool for the athlete and for the brand to kind of connect with us athletes. And it's just a new space. It's different because they've never, like, no brand has ever been able to work with legally been able to work with college athletes. So I think it's a good two-way partnership because you just kind of see how it is to be an actual influencer, to see if you want to pursue this life after athletics, or if it's something that you're like, no, I'm good, I don't want to do it, because it sounds good until you actually have to do it. But I just think it's really cool how I'm actually promoting products and being aligned with brands that I've used, and now I'm like literally contacting them. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. And going back to your track career and your senior year specifically here, just what goals do you have on track during this final year for you?
For this final year, I just want to honestly win everything, like to the point where I want to, of course, be a professional athlete. I have another year on the track, but if I don't have to take the extra year, I don't want to. I want to pursue like my professional and social media career without school. Like that's the perfect plan. But if that's not what God has for me, then I will come back to school. But as of right now, my goals are to be a national champion, SEC champion, just win everything possible, break records, break the school record at Kentucky, and just dominate and execute to the best of my ability. And I feel like I'll reach all those goals that I have for myself.
Yeah, that's great. And long term, obviously, things that we think of for track athletes are Olympics and going to that next step, the national stage. Would you say on the track that it's Olympics? And what would you say your career goals are off the track?
So yeah, definitely Olympics is my main goal. This year, I want to try for the world team, which is basically like world championships. It's not the Olympics, but it's basically like the Olympics. It's just not called the Olympics. World championships, and of course to go to the Olympics. And off the track, I just want to continue pursuing my social media career, gaining more followers, gaining my social presence. And because social media influence, and it sounds kind of funny, but I'm like, this is a real business. This is a real job, because I've had so many monetary benefits that have come from just the NIL. I'm like, y'all don't understand. So definitely pursuing that. And then if I can, of course, I want to open my own gym. I want to maybe coach. I want to, of course, do media broadcasting. I have so many things in my head that I want to do, and I want to invest. I want to be a real estate investor. I just have so many things that I want to do, but I feel like right now my calling is social media and trying to go pro. And I think everything else will fall in place once I, get everything else in this beginning stage handled.
Yeah, definitely. And you've kind of mentioned all of that, but do you think that the WWE has a serious chance in the future endeavor? Do you think that's something that you're like, hey, that might actually happen if you like it enough?
I feel like it just has to, like, it's definitely something that I feel like I would try out just to see. It's a lot of steps that they were telling me about before making it to, of course, the big stage. But I know a lot of people have a lot of success by just being a WWE athlete and then pursue on so many other careers after that. So if that's another platform that I have to utilize to get my name, image, and likeness out of there and become The Rock in the female version, hey, I'll do that 100%. And I'm an athlete. I feel like I'm a little more athletic than the average person. So I would hope that it's not as hard as I would suspect. But I heard it's a little different than track. But it's definitely something that's in the back of my mind if it hits the fan, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely based on look, it's definitely different from track. So
Sure,
definitely sounds like a
100%.
good Definitely sounds like a good plan, but that's all I have for you today, Masai. So I just want to say thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to talk to me, and best of luck with everything going forward.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you have a good one and good luck.
Thanks. Have a good night. Thank you too.
Bye-bye.